Hello and welcome everyone to Copy and Paste, the clean and family-friendly Reddit reading podcast. This is the 7th episode of Reddit? Crazy Ideas, where geniuses come from. And don't forget, if you like this podcast, then it would be greatly appreciated for you to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Okay, let's get started. And the first post by user /IamUnique6435. Instead of calling Facebook Meta, from now on we should instead call it the company formerly known as Facebook, just to screw Mark Zuckerberg off. Genius. And the second post by user /Frogger3344. An app where you set 6 different alarms, but it only picks one of them, Russian roulette style, so you don't know what time you actually wake up. That is so fun. And scary. And the third post by an NSFW account. Instead of $1, $5, $10, and $20 bills, we should have $1, $2, $4, $16, $64, and $256 bills. This would actually be quite useful. It just was the $8, $32, and $128 gone. And the fourth post by user /an_aardvarkman. Marshmallows with brutal truths printed on them. Call them harshmallows. Market them for playing chubby, fluffy bunnies as hard truths to swallow. And the fifth post by user /AC-Carpenter. If healthcare in the USA must be tied to employment, then all medical checkups, exams, consultations, and surgeries, including vision and dental, should be conducted on company time. I think it's very simple. Tying healthcare to work makes healthcare work-related, and thus, time spent on the work-related activity of undergoing any and all health-related procedures should be paid time. And the sixth post by an NSFW account, an official roast of every country hosted by the UN. Now that's funny. And the seventh post by user MFNWack says, everyone votes on government decisions via an app on their phone. Majority wins. We no longer need representatives thanks to modern tech. Make it a true democracy. That's actually quite good. And the eighth post by user Lucavious. A volunteer prison where inmates are just people who can't deal with life. Always wondered if this only sounded good in my head, but I have a brother who has basically been jobless and a mooch his entire life. Except when he was in jail. In jail, he learned skills, played the guitar, made friends, and the insane structure made him the most responsible he has ever been. Then, when he got out, he was back to doing nothing and putting on weight, and eventually back to selling his pills and stuff. I wonder how many people essentially would live a better quality of life if they could volunteer for a prison-like experience, but could leave anytime they wanted. The ninth post, by a favorite flopsyplum, forced Congress to consist of people from every income bracket, instead of 100% people from the highest income bracket. And the 10th post by an NSFW account, an Uber for fast food workers. Let's just say you own a McDonald's and your cashier called out. Open the app, enter the hours needed, and find a guy 10 minutes away who can come in for $25 an hour. Genius. In the 11th post by an NSFW account, train snails and slugs to give you a thin coat of slime every morning to protect you from the dirty, filthy world you live in. At the end of the day, and in the sterile bliss of your own home, you can shed the mucus layer like a second dirty, filthy skin. Snails will eat and purify it, as always. This thin coat of slime every morning on you just sounds disgusting. But, I mean, it's probably cleaner than normal, I don't know. And the 12th post by user /FDR9000, when you lose a lot of weight and have excess skin removed, have the skin saved and then tanned and used to make really nice shoes. That's funny. And the 13th post by user /lordphysics. make a game called Capitalist Inc. that is very similar to Plague Inc., but instead you're playing as someone who wants to become a billionaire, buying upgrades like pay lower wages and store income offshore to avoid paying taxes, and pay politicians to lobby for lower taxes. I don't know why anyone would play that game, but interesting. And the 14th post by an NSFW account. Put a person in a room with no indication of time. Tell them you'll be giving them food every 3 hours. What you actually would do is every time you give them food, you up the interval by 1 minute. So 3 hours at first, 3 hours 1 minute next, and so on. Keep on doing that until you reach 8 hours and set them free. Would the person think that 8 hours is 3 hours? Holy crap. That is such an interesting concept. It's so inhumane, but like, I want to know what happens, which is probably not good, but still want to know. And the 15th post by user /jakielim, cheese sticks for glue guns. So that you can instantly dispense gooey melted cheese. And the 16th post by user /45 and 290, Halloween shouldn't be restricted to one night here. Why the hell can't we wander around, meeting neighbors, and get candy, or blackout drunk dressed up as our favorite fictional character? And the 17th post by an NSFW account, replace an audience laugh track from sitcoms with just one person laughing. An audience of one. Why would that be good? Anyways, the 18th post by our favorite flopsyplum, force all hot sauces to include a Scoville rating on the label, similar to how alcoholic beverages include an alcohol percentage on the label. When would you ever use a Scoville rating, like a Scoville rating level on hot sauce? Like when? And the 19th post by user /speedygraffiti, content creators, artists, and musicians should create a cryptocurrency called exposure that is completely worthless, other than that you can say you were actually paid an exposure. A few friends and I are in audio production, and we were joking about how local business ads offering exposure for creative content. The conversation ended up with someone making this joke. We know nothing about crypto at all. In the final 20th post by user /inflammablepenguin, send swords to random locations with a note that says, to the defender of the realm. That is a great way to end this episode. If you enjoy this podcast, I would greatly appreciate for you to like and subscribe. To listen to this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or on my mobile platforms, or to visit on my socials, click the link in the description, and please feel free to send me an audio message or leave a comment. I have no idea why to do that. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.